Yes, if you just joined us, the program is Galaxy Line, and I can assure you, you have not missed anything. The program is just about starting now. And the topic is state security and traffic management in mega cities like Lagos in Nigeria. And my guest is LASMA Chief Executive Officer, AIG Chris Olakwe. Welcome again to the show.
Thank you very much.
Let me see how we're going to start. Maybe not really on road traffic per se to start with. As an integral part of the Lagos State government, how will you explain the strike action by these BRT workers? I thought they said they were protesting against non-payment of salaries.
Well, that is not part of the function of Lagos State government, because that's private-public partnership arrangement. So Primera Nigeria Limited is the one in charge. But I believe that usually when there is interaction between management and staff, there are bound to be some areas of accord, discourse, and so on. So it's not a new thing. It can happen to make the Primera.
I hope you are not absolving the state government itself.
No, yes, the state government had nothing to do with it, because it is ipso sensu run by Primera Nigeria Limited, and they are the ones who fund, they're the ones who run the daily administration to ensure smoothness. But be that as it may, I don't think it's out of order for workers to seek their rights and so on and so forth. And I'm sure.
How is that being resolved now?
The management of Primera is looking into it, and I believe that any moment from now they will be back on the track.
How has that affected your authority?
Well, generally we have the BRT lane to look after, to make sure that there are no incursions, to make sure that no irritants get into the place and block the place off. Because the main idea of His Excellency, the Governor,
I'm talking of the effect of the strike now.
I am telling you that our duty is to make sure that the BRT lane is open for
easy
movement and easy passage, and that is our own mandate there. And once the place is not, of course, being run, we still man the place, and we are praying that in a short while, business as usual commence.
Okay, let's take one other general issue. What do you make of the purported letter of demotion that was said to have been issued to the Lagos State Acting Police Commissioner, Imohimi Edgar? I'm sure you are aware of that.
I'm very much aware.
The chairman of the Police Service Commission, former IG, Michael Kiro, said he didn't know anything about that. Do you suspect some foul game here?
Well, as far as the Constitution of Nigeria is concerned, in the running of the affairs of the police, it is the duty of the Police Service Commission to promote officers from constable to Commissioner of Police, Assistant Inspector General of Police, Deputy Inspector General of Police, and that's where it stops. It's not within his own purview to appoint or promote Inspector General of Police. That's within the purview of the President in Council. So what we are saying is that if the chairman who says he suspects foul play, then there's foul play. He's saying he's not aware of the demotion, and where that demotion is coming from will be declared ultra vires, because the person to demote and to promote is the chairman of the Police Service Commission and members of council.
What rat do you smell?
Well. It's uncalled for.
High wire politics?
Well, politics, insinuations of politics here and there, divide and rule strategies, but I believe that the Police Service Commission should be allowed to do its work. And I believe that with the experience of Mr. Michael Kiro, he's bound to do very well.
And of course, there's another ripple, within the police force. A serving Senator Musau raised some damning allegations, of impropriety against the serving Inspector General of Police. Some people, even based on that, now are beginning to ask for the resignation of the serving IG. What's your take on this?
My take, fundamentally, is that this matter is already on the purview of the court, and it will be sub judice to discuss it. We allow the court to do their work and to find a solution to that. I don't have anything to say until we see what's going on, because allegations are flying here and there, and there will be propriety in investigating the correctness or otherwise of the allegations. But now that it's in court, let's leave the court to do their work.
What in case, at the end of the day, these allegations turn out to be untrue? What do you think should happen to the person who made the allegations in the first instance?
Well, you know that in cases like this, what happens really, if it's untrue, the man has fundamental right to go to seek court opinion, and the court will take its normal task of finding the person or taking further action. Judicial process will take place. But let's watch out until we get there and see.
Shouldn't it be treated like we have in the case of the whistle-blowing policy, whereby if you blow any whistle and it turns out to be false, you go straight in for it?
How do you go in straight in for it? The process of going in straight for it is the process of going to court also. That's what I'm saying. The person who is being alleged has right to sue the person who has given a wrong allegation against him in the open court, and then we wait to see the outcome of the court proceedings.
Now, this whole idea of people raising allegations against people that they have axe to grind with, you know, and some governments do condone this kind of thing, and at the end of the day, they succeed in just removing people from office. How really should such cases be handled by government?
Well, the Senate Committee on Police Affairs is there. If somebody is alleging against the Inspector General of Police, the Senate Committee on Police Affairs can raise up investigation procedure, call the people, all parties involved, to prove their cases before the Senate in an open hearing. And I think like giving false information about people,
just to be able to get them down. Because they have axe to grind.
No, it doesn't matter. If you have axe to grind, or it's two fronts. Either you have axe to grind, or you're trying to ensure there's propriety in the running of affairs of society. So it's a two-way traffic, yes. So what we are trying to say is that the man that is alleging must prove his case beyond reasonable doubt. And if he can't prove his case, then he faces the consequences of the strong arms of the law.
Okay. Let's talk about this Boko Haram stuff. I mean, as a police officer, I should take that liberty to ask you some of these questions. What do you say to the apprehension that Boko Haram may have perfected plans to infiltrate Lagos, or maybe the whole of the South, particularly Lagos?
Well, it's a call to duty for every Lagosian and every Nigerian to be aware and be security conscious.
Be at alert.
Be at alert, be security conscious, watch out for movement of men, persons and goods into the community, and make reports immediately. Once there is information that a group of people will be coming in to cause problem, then everybody must be up and about. The police must be up and about, the military must be up and about, the members of the public should be more open to giving information to the police and to other security agencies. So it's a call to duty for all and sundry to be on the lookout for the miscreants and to report their movement whenever sighted.
The Bado group in Ikorodu, would we say we've had the last about them?
Well, you see, in social developments and social movements, when social movements, particularly those of the negative type, you can have social movements fundamentally that have positive edge, that are driving for change. But when you have a social movement that is cultist in approach, usually when you have the strong arm of the security on them and the law, they run underground. So what I feel, they've run underground, but we should not rest until all members are fished out and dealt with. And there must be a legal rejuvenation of the provision of the law that as it pertains to cultism. Cultism should be given a special law that will make it very harsh on anybody who is found involved in such outrageous and untoward acts. When I was in Bayelsa State, for instance, when I reported in Bayelsa in 2012, in February in 2012, I discovered that every day we had cult clashes, and young boys between 18 and 20 were being murdered. You come out in the morning, see eight to 10 young boys in jeans lying dead. And they were turning the place to a conundrum of murder and counter application of violence. So I met His Excellency, the Governor of Bayelsa, and I said, look, what we have is a punishment that is less than 3 years imprisonment. So what we'll do now, we are going to increase it to 15 years. You make it known, and I will go around all the communities to warn. And of course, the law should include that one, the tenants, the landlord of wherever such cultists dwell will be accessories after the fact. The fathers and the mothers of these people will be accessories after the fact. So we draw a web around them, and then we'll punish them. So I went around on town hall meetings, and we made discussions, and I tell you, before a month, nothing like that again. Everybody became afraid. The landlords themselves were on the lookout, and they were security conscious and alert. Everybody, their parents too. So we have to do something very drastic about cultism like Badu. We have to increase the punishment, and we have to increase the stake of the investigation processes, and then the judicial process should be very short and immediate, like they do in Cuba. In Cuba, you have set time for investigation and conclusion of cases, and then you have prosecution set time, statutory limitations. If you are prosecuting a case of corruption in Cuba, it should end, everything must end within a month, and judicial process completed and punishment meted if the man is found to be involved. So we should have all those time by. It's not that every day there will be adjourning cases for 3-4 years. It makes the nonsense of the whole process. So we have time, statutory limitations, and then we'll be able to tackle all these miscreants, and we'll be able to put the society into proper
Now,
shape.
beautiful ideas you just espoused. Is government, maybe let me say Lagos, that's the one you are closest to now, is it favorably disposed towards these ideas?
Yes, because
and if so,
yes.
Why is it taking so much time to put them into use?
Yes, these ideas have been espoused, and I think very soon we'll be having new laws. I'm sure new laws will be coming out very, very soon, and I'm sure also that they are hearing as we are speaking too. So this is a public enlightenment program to encourage fast and speedy, fast track the process of looking into all these laws, so that the laws that are weak fundamentally can be rejigged, and appropriate punishment and sanctions meted, so that we can be able to know also that since there's time frame, if you get yourself into corruption, you face the music. If you get yourself into armed robbery within a month and a half, you've gotten your punishment, and the sanctions are very clear. So that will now make society to be better, and people will now respect the law and keep to the side of justice and fair play and equity.
You've been off the field, as a police officer for quite some while. Now your colleagues on the beat, how do you assess them from afar now?
Yes, they are up and about.
Have you seen
yes,
some loopholes here and there?
Like Lagos State has been blessed by sufficiently professional officers who have been sent here. The former man Fatai did his best and was visible and clear. And Imohimi, full of experience also, has started doing things, setting up anti-cult departments and all these things that never existed. And so I think we are moving on.
All right, let's get down to your core area, traffic management in Lagos. So much logistic support, I'm sure you agree with me, has been deployed, yes. By the state government for traffic control in Lagos. How do you justify a proper appropriation of this, appropriation and utilization of the massive facilities deployed by government?
Yes.
I'm talking of motorcycles,
yes, we have,
vehicles, gadgets.
Communication gadgets, we have motorcycles, right. We have the human capacity to actually drive
these
change.
Facilities.
Yes, and drive the facilities. His Excellency, Mr. Kim Mambode, was able to give approval for the recruitment of about 1,350 personnel of graduate quality, well-bred and well-organized, and you will see them dotting all the major highways and looking better than it was before. Before I assumed office, we had issues with LASTMA personnel exchanging fisticuffs with members of the public, LASTMA personnel having problems with the military, LASTMA personnel having problems with the other security agencies. But with training, and because we brought a template of good training, pragmatic training, in dynamics of one, collaboration with other sister agencies. We trained them on that we should collaborate rather than judge up. I mean, war, we should judge up, we should be able to settle ourselves and not make ourselves laughing stock in the public. And we were able to do that. We brought the issue of intelligence too, so that you are not only controlling traffic, you are still monitoring crime and crime control. You are looking at people who are more prone to criminality. You are looking at vehicles that are passing. Are they carrying stuff that are illegitimate and illegal, and so on? And besides that, you see, better than before, we have good rapport with the police also, managing the traffic and working together in collaboration. And besides that, we have fast-moving vehicles to move us from point A to point B, moving officers all around, and the motorcycles too. But I would say that that's sufficient. We still look for more, particularly in the area of motorcycles, as Oliver twists.
Let's talk about the traffic cameras. There are some criticisms, but before maybe we get to that, can you assess the efficiency and the efficacy of the traffic cameras?
The traffic cameras usually will have assisted very well, particularly CCTV cameras.
CCTV?
Yes, CCTV will have done very well in crime control because no activity that will be taking place that will not be captured.
Is it that these ones are not provided, or they are
I think,
too few
I think
to be effective?
The government is doing its best now to begin to rejig and restore CCTV camera in the identified problem-prone areas, black spots, and it will help us in investigation of traffic cases and prosecution of all our cases. It will do well, and I'm happy that His Excellency has given his word that before December we should be able to have CCTV cameras dotting most of the highways in Lagos. And I think
there's some of the traffic cameras that we see on the internet. You are able to see the movement in particular areas of the city,
yes,
so that it can check you.
That's what we're saying
against movement.
That's what we're saying now, that Nigeria is lacking in that. So generally, holistically, we are lacking in it. We're praying every Nigerian government should be as proactive as that of Lagos, so that they can now set up a CCTV camera to monitor crime movement of goods and services, and traffic management also. It will do us a good
the point now is, for how long shall we wait to have?
But I told you now,
CCTV
between
cameras?
now and December was the pronouncement of His Excellency, and I'm sure he matches his words with action. He walks his talk. He will do it.
Now, the problem of traffic jams is still with us somehow, and we're wondering, is it that we will never get out of it in Lagos?
Well, we shouldn't be so, we should not be so pessimistic. We should be optimistic, because the Lagos government has run now is on intermodal transportation. What they're trying to do, that's why the BRT is now being constructed from that area, from Oshodi to Wode Egba. Then they are making construction along Abeokuta Express now. So the whole idea is that Nigerians have the fragmentation of big manism. You want to move 4 cars, 6 cars, the same family, want to take children to school, want to take madam to the market, want to take Oga to work, want to take the houseboy to market, and so on. And so you flood the roads. Will you agree with me that we have close to 9 million vehicles coming into Lagos every day, plying all the roads. And why the BRT is very important is that we want to establish a kiss and ride system as is done overseas. You park your car there, the BRT, take your bus to the place you want to work, and take the BRT bus back, pick your car home. So the influx will now reduce. So, and the intermodal services, the Lagos State
Is
water.
it that you're going to force people to drop their car and jump into
No, no force.
BRT?
But it's rational to know that because of influx and you want to be fast. Like the Ikorodu axis, the time, real time is 45 minutes. To move from Ikorodu on the BRT straight to Akpongbon, to race course, 45 minutes. Will it not be better proper for you and more appropriate to drop your car and then take a ride on air-conditioned bus, and there's television and there's radio,
even more economical.
And more economical. You save your fuel, you save your time. But that mentality, the fragmentation of big manism, which I said, we will not want them. Immediately you don't go with your car, you say, what happened to your car?
What happened to your car?
What happened to your car?
They will not even ask
No,
about, your children.
So
about
that
your family.
mentality,
They ask about the car.
They ask about the car. So that mentality must change. And when the BRT start running, the Osho, the axis, and His Excellency is now building very beautiful bus terminal where you have all the buses conglomerating, and then people can go there, pick your bus, have some good time, move up, watch TV, have real time while waiting for your bus to come, as is the practice, best practice overseas. So he has finished with the one at Ikeja. The one in Oshodi is going on, ongoing, even with a shopping mall by the side of it. So it's, all those are the issues that we are trying to do to obviate the issue of traffic snarl. Besides that, traffic snarl would not be cured without going intermodal. We have to use the BRT system for the roads. We have to use traffic control methods with the last man helping to untie traffic, and then rail transportation has to come into the system, which you are sure, I'm sure you know that rail transportation, the red and blue lines are coming all the way from Badagry into Lagos, and they're building it, and it's going on. So intermodally, you have the land, the sea, and the rail system coming together. It will solve the issue, and the government is aware. They are working towards that, and we should encourage them.
What will be the implication of the BRT scheme for last month's operational efficiency?
The BRT scheme is being overlooked and supervised, superintended over by LASMA, so that there will not be infractions, because you see yellow buses running into the lane, exactly. You see police officers running into the lane, you see military officers running down the lane, you see different kinds of people trying to distort the viable corners. Yes, and the corners, trying to distort the viability of the BRT. That's why we have the BRT section that is taking care of monitoring. And that's why I had to go with the BRT team to visit the military on a collaboration visit to elaborate on the reason and the rationale for their men not to come and be running the BRT lane to disturb and distort the real time we're trying to build. And we went to the Navy also. We went also to the police, the AIG Zone 2. We've paid courtesy visit even to the new Commissioner of Police. And so we have been able to build that so that that BRT lane will be a dedicated lane for fast movement of workers, goods and services, real time.
It's like it's being built in the middle. Public movement to the right, public movement to the left, and then in the middle. How does that work?
It works. It works. Because there are pavements separating the two sides. So if they had left it, there would be infraction, but there are pavements. So the pavements now, there are demarcations that will divide the road from the BRT lane. Because you know how our people reason. Because of indiscipline, they'll be jumping from place to place, so they don't have that facility anymore. And you can see the barricading going on to make sure that people don't jump from one area to the other. And I think it will make Lagos more secured, make Lagos more viable, visible, and make Lagos more accessible to new ideas and change.
All right. At this point, we'll take a very quick break, a breather, I will call it. We'll be right back.